Hey, it's Arjun, CEO of doola.com. Doola is a business in a box, and we've successfully raised over $13 million of venture capital from the likes of Y Combinator, Nexus Venture Partners, HubSpot Ventures, Dharmesh Shah, Cody Sanchez, Graham Steffen, Sahil Bloom, and more, just to name a few. And along the way, we've helped over 10,000 entrepreneurs from over 175 countries not just start, but run and grow their dream US business. Now, I promise you by the end of this video, you are going to understand how to record transactions in Doola Bookkeeping. This is going to be a fun one. This is how you can really take advantage of all the power in Doola Bookkeeping to have a complete grasp of your business from a financial perspective. And the way we're going to cover this is in a few simple steps. I'm first going to run through how you can see transactions. Then we'll run through how to filter transactions, how to auto tag transactions, how to manually add transactions, uploading receipts, editing transactions, exporting transactions, and last but not least, if this sounds overwhelming, how a dedicated bookkeeper can help you with this. Without further ado, let's Doola it and dive right in. Welcome to your Doola overview dashboard. And as a reminder, at this point, you should have already integrated and connected your bank accounts via Plaid or added your accounts manually. Also, at this point, you've connected your payment processors. Again, if you haven't done this, check out the video on how to properly connect your accounts. Again, we recommend Plaid because it's instantaneous and it's secure, but you can do it manually too. Now, what we're going to cover now is that you have your transactions coming in. How do you actually record transactions and manage transactions? From your Doola dashboard, all you have to do is hit that transactions button. You can see this on the top tab, so all you have to do is click transactions, and this is where the fun begins. Voila, welcome to the transactions tab. There's a lot going on here, so let's go through step by step. First things first, you can see all transactions for your business here, and this is why it's so important to connect all of your accounts that have transactions, bank accounts, payment processors, add them automatically via Plaid or even manually, so that you can have a complete picture of your entire business here. We've also tried to color code things here, so at a glance, it's very easy to tell what is a positive, such as income coming in or revenue, and then what's something going out. Maybe it's a cost or an expense. Now, the first thing is, as your business grows, there's going to be more transactions. So I want to share how you can actually filter transactions to find exactly what you're looking for. You can easily search at the top, and that'll allow you to quickly pull up what you're looking for, or you can filter if you're looking to specifically categorize or look for a certain set of transactions. To filter transactions, hit that button next to the search bar. It's right to the left, and you're going to have a couple categories in how to filter. For example, here we filtered by a couple categories. A certain checking account, we're looking for does it have a receipt, and we're actually saying we want everything over $500. So this is pretty cool. You can search and filter by account. You can search and filter if there's a receipt or not, and you can search and filter depending on the dollar amount. Actually, you can filter by a lot more. You can see all the different ways to filter here. Again, the goal is you can quickly search and find a transaction or filter to your heart's desire to find exactly what you're looking for. Again, as your business grows, there's going to be a lot of transactions. We want to help you not just start, but scale and easily manage your transactions as you go from 1 to 1,000 to 10,000 transactions. Now, as a reminder, if you have not connected your bank account or your payment processor, you won't see any transactions, and the tool is actually not that helpful. So again, I'd recommend at least filter or toggle on demo data so you can see what this looks like. But the ultimate recommendation is please go and manage accounts, hit that settings tab, hit that manage accounts button, and you can actually add the account via Plaid or add it manually so you can actually take advantage of the tool and actually get a grasp of your business. Now, we know when you're running a business, there's a million things happening. So we want to make it very easy for you to get a quick glance at what a transaction is. So if you actually click on any transaction, we're going to pop up a quick view so you can see what it is. Here we'll give you some quick details on actually what the transaction was. You'll also be able to add notes and even change the client or category, and we'll get more into that. Again, we don't want you to have to guess what the transaction is. You can click it and quickly get a glance of what it is. I think of this as a little double click. Now, I mentioned auto tagging transactions, but in addition to filtering transactions, a very important thing is that you can actually review transactions. So we're going to actually call these out for you, and you'll see that red button that says review transactions. If you see that button, it means there's new transactions that we'd like to review and help either categorize or understand what they are. So this is actually pretty neat, if I might say so myself. Right away, we're going to try to tag these transactions for you. We're going to take our best guess. That way it's saving time, which you can better spend on your business. But if we're not entirely sure, we're going to ask you to review. So in this case here, you can see in that red button, we're asking you to actually go and select a category. And the awesome thing is once you select this category the first time, it's going to auto tag it going forward. So really there's just this one-time process up front to properly tag things, and then you let automation take over. Now it gets even cooler. We automatically identify patterns in your transactions so we can auto tag. If you hit that review button at the top, you can actually review the rule. So let's say there's a certain word like gusto that comes in a transaction. You could auto tag that category as payroll. We'll try to proactively do this, but you can always change these settings if you'd like. And here's an example where we actually weren't able to auto-categorize, but all we need you to do is come in, categorize, and then going forward, you can actually set a rule to auto-tag these transactions. So I think this is beautiful because it's the magic of automation, but also allowing you to have control and say, hey, this tag was actually wrong, or hey, actually, I need to add the tag for you so that we can auto-tag this going forward. And when it comes to actually categorizing, it's as simple as this. You can come in and choose the category. You can even edit the client as well. And that's really all you have to do to review these transactions. Again, as a reminder, we want to make it as easy for you, so we'll proactively flag if there are transactions for review. Now, we talked about reviewing and also setting up a rule. So I actually want to show you what this looks like. So a transaction came in, you'd like to set up a rule. Let me walk you through this flow. So first, you'll see your existing rules, and you'll see examples of rules that you've set to auto-tag transactions. From here, just click Add Rule if you'd like to create a new one. Okay, now here is where you're going to actually define the rule. You can name the transaction, you can give it a description, you can even attach a client to it, and you can select an account. We'll even give you the ability to backfill. So you don't have to go back and do this manually for each transaction. You can do this, hit that toggle to say apply for previous transactions. Lastly, if the transaction name slightly differs, you can hit the very bottom toggle and we'll apply it even if the name is slightly different. That means there might have been a typo or the name sometimes slightly changes. Maybe there's a word in front or a word behind. So again, we really want to use technology to make this as easy as possible for you to remove any manual work. So I'll show you an example here. So in this case, the transaction name is PlayStation. The description is it's Sony Entertainment. There's no specific client tied to this, it's just income coming in. And then you can tie it to that specific account. So here is the specific credit account. In this case, we don't want to apply to past transactions, but we do want to toggle the feature at the bottom to allow us to match this if it's slightly different in the future in terms of the name. Now I'm going to show you the same thing here for an expense. So you can actually add rules for income, which we just showed, and then you can add rules for auto tagging for expenses. Same field, same categories here, and let me show you what this looks like. In this case here, let's say there was an expense. So you're not getting money from PlayStation or Sony, but you're giving them money. Put in the name, put in Sony Entertainment as a description, choose a client if it makes sense, and then you can add a category. In this case, we're spending money on gaming. You can decide whether or not you want to apply this to past transactions, and then again, you can do the smart toggle at the bottom if you'd like it to match names that are close but not exactly the same. Now, let's come back to the overall transactions tab. Next up, I want to show you how to manually add transactions. If you connected via Plaid, and you actually automatically have your bank account and payment processor connected, you actually won't need to do this. So I'll say this again, please do connect it automatically. It saves you time, you don't have to manually add. But there might be cases you need to manually add. Let's say there was a Venmo payment that came in, or a cash payment, or you have some money in an offline or offshore account that you can't integrate via Plaid automatically. In that case, don't sweat, you can still manually add a transaction. And I'm gonna walk through how to do that. First things first, click the add button. You'll see that on the top next to the search bar. Okay, now you're gonna have to choose, is this income or money coming in, or is this an expense or money going out? Let's start with income, and I'll show you an example for expense after. Here you can determine the status, is this personal or business? You can set the date and add a description. You can set the amount and then create or name an account. You can even connect a client and then add a note. And you can upload a receipt, which I'll show you how to do soon. This is an example of what it looks like when these fields are filled. Let me cover the same thing for an expense. Let's say there's a transaction you'd like to add that was actually an expense. Same thing, same view, but just hit that expense toggle. And you can choose if it's personal or business. Now, the reason why we actually let you choose personal or business is you might want to have a full financial picture of your entire life. You want to connect personal accounts, business accounts, you might be a solopreneur, and you can do that too. So again, toggle income or expense, and then toggle personal or business. And voila, this is what it looks like with some sample information filled in. Now, there's one more cool thing I want to show you here. At the bottom, you might see the advanced tab. And in this is where you can actually designate if it's not income or an expense, but it's a transfer. So you actually might be transferring money between accounts. Let's say you have two bank accounts and you wanted to transfer over $50,000 or $5,000 or $500. In that case, technically it's actually not income, shouldn't be green, and it's not an expense. You're not losing money, it's just a transfer. So in this case, you can hit that advanced button and say convert this to a transfer. Again, you can set a date, description, and amount, and you can determine and set which account was this coming from and which is it going to. Here's an example of what this looks like in this case. And again, this is the case where you are manually adding this transaction. So you might have done a transaction between two offline accounts and you'd like to properly reflect that in your books. Okay, so that's how to actually manually add a transaction, income, expense, or even do the transfer. I also want to just show you how you can edit transactions, and I'll go a little bit deeper here. So let's say you actually connected your bank account and payment processor and you integrated that via Plaid. If you click on any transaction, this is what you'll see. So here's an example of income, and you can toggle and change any of these settings. You can add a note, you can even upload a receipt. Here's an example of an expense, and again, you can change the category. You can even add a client, a note, or a receipt. And what you can also do here is, let's say you need to convert this to a bank transfer. Again, let's say it's actually not income, or it's not money coming in, or it's not an expense or money going out, but you're simply transferring money between accounts. Let's say you connected 2 bank accounts via Plaid and you transferred money between the two. Technically, that's not income because you're just taking $500 from here and putting $500 here, but it's also not an expense. Yes, it's coming out here, but it's going in. So you can actually say, hey, this transaction is not income or an expense. I'd like to categorize it as a transfer, or in this case, convert it to a transfer. So you'll click advanced, you'll click convert to, and this is where you can convert it to a bank transfer. You can also upload receipts. So I've mentioned that a few times. Let me actually explain how to upload a receipt. And again, you can do this whether you're manually adding a transaction or editing an existing transaction that's in there already. All you'll have to do is click on upload receipt, and then from there, simply attach the receipt and it's going to show up. The cool thing is while you're uploading a receipt, again, you can edit the transaction, meaning you can change the category, you can add a note, and even attach a client. And you can also add new ones while you're in the flow. So for example, here are the categories. Choose a category and simply edit the transaction. Let's say you're trying to attribute a client. You can choose an existing client, or you can actually add a new client right here too. And let's say you're trying to tie a specific account to a transaction. You can choose an existing account or easily click here to integrate and add an account, again, via Plaid or manually. Okay, we've covered a lot about transactions, but we're not done. There's some more cool stuff you can do. You can also export transactions. Maybe you need to export this as a CSV to share externally, or you'd like to run some analysis offline on this. To do that, simply click the export button. From there, you can choose all your transactions or filter and simply export them as a CSV. Okay, that is a wrap for transactions. We covered a ton there, and if at this point you're thinking, this is fantastic, I'm ready to go, fantastic, just do it. But if you're also thinking, hey, this is a lot, I'd like some help, don't sweat. This is why Doola offers a dedicated bookkeeper. So if you're on the dedicated bookkeeper plan, don't worry, your bookkeeper is going to help you with all of this. If you're not, you can upgrade and get the dedicated bookkeeper who's going to help guide you through all of this and effectively just save you time so you can focus on what you do best, growing your business, while Doola handles the rest. Let us know if you have any questions, and if you do, you can schedule a free consultation or book a demo with our team to dive deeper into how Doola can support your business. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.